Hey folks, and welcome to another episode of 8 News Real Talk. I'm your host, Tannock, Blair, and with me as always is my co-host, Julia Broberg.
Hello.
Hey, Julia.
Hi, Tannock.
Thank you for tuning in, everyone, on Facebook, YouTube, the website, or WRIC Plus, our smart TV app that is free to download and probably the best way to watch our WRIC Now shows. Today, we're talking about two movies that I can't quite find a theme between them. Maybe it's about brotherly
male
camaraderie.
friendships.
Yeah.
They're both about male
Okay.
friendships.
All right. Yeah, we get there. No,
man.
really, there isn't so much to tie The Long Walk, which is a dystopian coming-of-age survival thriller film, with Spinal Tap II, a legacy sequel to a documentary comedy musical. I avoided using mockumentary. We were talking about this before, how apparently Christopher Guest doesn't like it being called a mockumentary, but it is. That's what words mean. Yeah, we'll start with The Long Walk, though, seeing as this was sort of the bigger release of the two. Even though, really, both of them were dwarfed at the box office this weekend by the Demon Slayer movie, which we experienced when we went to the theater together, just seeing the
Tannock
entire
was like-
parking lot filled.
Tannock was like, why is this place so busy? Why is everybody here? And I was like, Demon Slayer? And you were like, you're right.
Whoa.
It probably was Demon Slayer.
We're so used to turning up to the theater and there being yeah, not
Oh,
that many people.
I always go when there's literally like two other people in
Yeah.
the entire building, which is how I prefer it.
No, it was cool. It's awesome to see the movie theaters bumping for
Yeah.
big event films like that.
Just not for the movies that we're going to talk about today.
Exactly. Missed opportunity. But it would have taken a bit of time to catch up on the entire Demon Slayer storyline up until the movie, I
This
think.
is true. I would have been,
We would have been
out
really
of luck.
lost.
Yeah.
Before we talk about The Long Walk as well, just because today is September 16, Tuesday, we just found out that Robert Redford has died.
Yeah. I saw that this morning. I woke up to that news, which was terrible.
Yeah. Legendary movie icon, actor, director, also one of the founders of Sundance Film Festival.
Also very handsome, man, very good looking. Just to put my 2 cents in.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think that's how I'd want to be remembered, not for Sundance.
I mean,
or that
he
stuff.
is famous for like how good looking he was, so I think that's appropriate.
And funny. He's a funny guy.
But, he had many, many values and a great loss to the
classical
film
music.
community.
Many interesting
Yeah,
things.
so in our small little way on Real Talk, RIP to Robert Redford.
Let's just talk about all the presidents, man.
Yeah.
Let's talk about, which
I
cast.
will make you watch that before the year is out somehow.
No,
Somehow we'll tie it into the
no, I
show.
don't want to.
All right, let's talk about The Long Walk. What did you think of it, Julia?
I apparently forgot to write down any notes for this one, which is something I always realize once I'm walking into this room. I would give it a 3-star. It was good. I liked certain parts of it. I had heard a lot of rave reviews about it, at least in the online circles that I'm in. Everybody was like, I was sobbing in the theater. I was having and I can see that. There's a lot of emotion. There's a lot of heart. I don't know. It just seemed kind of average, which sounds bad because there were a lot of good. The performances were really good, and I think the writing was good. Again, testament to Stephen King. But yeah, it was just kind of like another movie. There wasn't anything that really stood out to me that was took it far and above other things that we've seen this year.
Yeah.
How about you? What'd you think?
I think I'm also going to go 3, but I was surprised by how much I liked it, honestly. I was, if you were expecting something better, I was expecting, I don't know exactly what I was expecting, but knowing that it was directed by Francis Lawrence, who of course did all the Hunger Games movies, or just about all of them.
I think.
And I like the Hunger Games movies, but I was sort of like, oh, that's going to be a tired thing. It's sort of a retread of, old ground here. Not sure how it's going to work in 2025. But I did really like the script from J.T. Molnar, who also wrote and directed Strange Darling, last
really?
year. Yeah.
Love Strange Darling.
So I think he's got a really good sort of sense for storytelling and character, because that was a strong movie last year as well. And I think honestly, what really like made me really enjoy this movie the whole way through was the performances. I think especially Hoffman and Johnson, the two lead actors, were really, really terrific in this. This was sort of a nice sort of exhibit of young male actors, like a lot of who's who of like people you'll recognize. The kid from Jojo Rabbit's in it at the beginning, and a lot of actors that you'll probably recognize that are sort of on their come up as they're getting closer to adulthood. But especially Hoffman and Johnson were just really, really strong, and I think it's worth seeing it just for that, honestly.
I agree with that.
Let's get into spoilers, though, so we can talk about what The Long Walk is all about.
True. Tannock, you tell us, what is The Long Walk about?
Right. The Long Walk is set in some sort of dystopian alternate universe where the United States is at war. There isn't a whole lot more context given other than that some sort of war is playing out in the background that has left many of America's citizens impoverished and struggling, and similarly to the Hunger Games, as a way of sort of either corralling, maintaining morale or forcing complacency from the public. There has been introduced a sort of twisted game in which young men take part in the Long Walk once every year, where they have to keep walking at a certain speed, and if they slow down too much or stop for too long, they get killed. And the last one standing will win a monetary prize, basically riches beyond their dreams, and will be granted one single wish. And so that's the basic premise, and we follow a number of characters who become friends along the walk and experience various different trials and tribulations as the film plays out, and we eventually see who wins and what they have to lose and sacrifice in order to get there.
That was a good job, Tannock. You did a good job describing what it's about.
Thank you. Yeah, so that's the basic premise. I already mentioned, I think, like the character work here is some of the strongest stuff, and the performances. What else did you think about The Long Walk?
Like you're saying, I think it did a good job of establishing, because again, it's all men within kind of the same age range, but you see a good array of different personalities that is established pretty early on. Like, you know what role, what archetypes they're going to fall into and how they're going to play within each other. You have, Ray Garrity, who's the main guy that you're kind of following, who's Cooper Hoffman, I think they did a good job of keeping, like, what is his motive? They kind of pepper in, it's something with his family, because his mom is obviously any mom's going to be emotional, dropping their kid off basically to die.
Yep.
And by the way, Judy Greer giving it all, giving
right
her
from the first scene.
From the first scene, Judy Greer is just giving a very, very in-depth emotional performance, which is not surprising because I think Judy Greer is a very talented actress. And then you have Pete McGree. DeVries,
something like that. Yeah.
Sorry. Who is David Johnson? Is that the actor's name?
Yeah,
David
that's the
Johnson?
name. David Johnson.
And so it's kind of established early on that those two are going to be buds that kind of carry each other through this experience. And that's something I really liked about it. You watch the arc of their friendship and how their personalities hold up under the stress and how they have to support each other and support the men around them, and how the different personalities go from, are we going to help each other or is it every man for himself?
Yeah.
And it kind of goes in between that. But there were also some just really funny characters. I liked who was the kid that was eating the clementine.
Yeah.
He was funny.
Yeah,
Kind of just a fast talking dude that's just like, I'm here to walk.
Olsen. Hank Olsen is the character's name. Yeah.
I liked him, and I liked the Superman guy.
Played by the new actor in the Karate Kid Legend movie.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So right.
Yeah.
Good for him.
I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but
Yeah, I liked their relationships. That was the closest I got to really being like emotionally invested was when I can't remember any of their names. Art, the
yeah, Arthur Baker.
yeah,
Art
Baker
Yep,
like
Baker.
dies, and it's that because a lot
That
of it
is
you're coming to
tough scene.
terms with when it's not a death where it's like, oh, he's broken his ankle or he's having a medical emergency
Yeah,
or
some deaths are quick and others are.
it's resignation. It's the guys being
Yeah.
like, I'm giving up, guys. Like I
Yeah.
have to call it.
Yeah.
And the guys respect that decision. I think that was the most where they understand they're like having this conversation with him, knowing that he's going to die in the next like 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Those were where I was like, gosh darn,
Yeah.
we're getting to the little depths of humanity there.
Yeah, it is extraordinarily dark as,
Yeah.
as a movie, as these kinds of movies go. I think a lot darker than The Hunger Games, if we're comparing those. Even though that does go to dark places as well, I think that's maybe the Stephen King edge. Certainly, the Stephen King influence that I see is that fraternal sort of young man way of talking to each other, similar to like Stand By Me or something.
Yeah.
Or
Just reminded me of
the
Stand By Me.
characters from It, just like the way that Stephen King has always been good at capturing like the voices of teenagers. I think that's done really well here and complemented well by all the performers as well. One thing we didn't mention is the general,
Mark Hamill.
played by Mark Hamill, who is responsible for introducing the games, or he seems like some sort of tyrannical military figure whose influence extends beyond the games as well, because we see in flashbacks he is also responsible for killing the main character, Cooper Hoffman's character's father, at one point in his backstory. So, he seems like he's having a lot of fun in this movie.
Oh, yeah.
He's
I mean,
really hamming it up as the villain.
Mark Hamill's good because you know Mark Hamill as, what he's played in the past. It's fun
Yeah.
to see him in a villain role because
Yeah.
it's like, it's Mark Hamill.
Yeah. It's always fun to see him break type. And he's done it a few times in his career, but this is a great example of that. I think the universality of sort of the themes of this being that, you could project whatever systemic oppressions you want or any outside economic or geopolitical tension in the world, you could project onto this film quite handily, which in 2025 makes it feel, as relevant as ever, and I'm sure it will continue to feel relevant. It's working on those sort of universal themes of like the world can be a dark and difficult, complicated place. But it's the little moments between these friendships that sprout up and, the support that these boys show with one another that is sort of the light. And even though the ending goes really dark and contradicts that,
what I was about to say.
that's sort of what the film is building towards or trying to show, which feels really, I can see, it's simple. It's been done many, many times, but it doesn't make it any less effective to have, that kind of theme in a movie like this.
Agree. Oh, you're talking to a girl. I love a story about finding hope in, human relationships and friendship and how that is, the reason why a lot of people stay on the planet. And you mentioned the ending. How did you feel about the ending?
I think it worked. It didn't like blow me away or anything. I sort of expected it to go one of a couple of different ways, and
50-50 chance.
Yeah, exactly. Basically at the very end, the character of David Johnson's character, who has been trying to convince Cooper Hoffman's character not to, throw away his one wish by trying to assassinate the general and get revenge for his father's death. He tries to talk Hoffman into taking the money, going back to his mother, trying to do good with what he can and use that last wish for good, etc. But as they are the last two, and Cooper Hoffman's character ends up sacrificing himself and getting killed, the David Johnson character finally sort of breaks his own moral code and gives in to revenge and kills the general. And then we pretty quickly just get a cut to black, basically, as he continues walking down the road. Yeah, I thought it was effective. I thought appropriate for a movie as dark as this. Yeah, what did you think of it?
I thought it was interesting that it was about, Cooper Hoffman's character is like, the reason it seems that he sacrifices himself is because he's like, you see it. You see what I can't see in the world.
You'll do the right thing.
You'll do the right thing. You will go beyond vengeance. Because Johnson's character has that whole speech about, like, there's more to it than vengeance. Like, there's got to be more to life than this thing that you have inside of you to just get vengeance. But it makes sense that in the reality of this world is that that's really Johnson's only option. What is he he's gonna look in the eyes of the man that just killed his like best friend that he's developed this relationship with over hundreds and hundreds of miles and just walk away and be like, yeah, I'll just take the money and live. And I think it's also a guilt there of like, oh, okay, so I get a gazillion dollars and all these people still have to live in poverty and I thought it was effective, but
it's good stuff.
Yeah.
All right. That's The Long Walk. We recommend it 3 stars. We'll be right back. All right, and we're back to talk about Spinal Tap II, The End Continues. That is the subtitle, which I didn't have space for in the in the title below.
It just trails off.
Yeah.
Ellipses.
So we actually saw the original, rewatched it when it got a re-release in theaters earlier this year, sort of as part of like the promotion or build up to this one, I think. Was it the 51st anniversary? No, sorry, 41st anniversary.
I was like, ooh.
I guess they wanted to add 1 year because of the 11 joke. Of course, the biggest joke from the original.
That the most insufferable men in your life quote on a daily basis. Sorry.
She's talking about me.
No. Insufferable men 40 and up.
Okay. 41 and up. Yeah, so we went and saw this this weekend, having like the refresh sort of in the back of our heads. What did you think of Spinal Tap II, The End Continues?
That's a tough question because you're talking to somebody that loves Rob Reiner. I'm a ride or die Rob Reiner fan, Christopher Guest fan, Michael McKean fan, Harry Shearer fan. I love everything that these boys do together. I just wish we could have seen them get together with something that wasn't a revamp or a sequel because I don't think that the story of Spinal Tap needs this. What if we see them where they are now? I don't care. I want them to live. I want that humor and I want their story to live in that time period. I don't think it's meant to come to the modern day. That being said, I had a pretty good time watching this. I got some chuckles. But again, I would say this week was kind of a pretty average movie watching week for me. I felt that this movie was just kind of meh compared to what the movie was in its time. Like how groundbreaking, I guess. I don't know if that's the word, but what it meant to filmmaking and comedy as a whole. This would be a 3-star for me. It was just kind of, and that's disappointing for me to say because I love them so much, but
yeah,
meh.
It's impossible to escape the comparison if you're a direct sequel to a classic from the 80s. Yeah, I'm in the same boat with you. Honestly, this is treading close to Happy Gilmore territory where this is a sequel that does not justify its own existence. I'm not going to give it 1 star like I gave Happy Gilmore 2. I'm going to give it 2 stars, mainly because it wasn't as... I didn't get as upset while watching it. Yeah, I watched the clock tick down and was totally like fine to sit through. But no, this is bad. This is not good.
I agree.
And so I'm going to give it 2.
I don't want to say it about my boys. 'Cause I love my boys.
We can get into some specifics with spoiler talk. Juliet, what was Spinal Tap 2 about?
Spinal Tap 2 is about, you see where Spinal Tap is now. You see where the band members have ended up. Nigel's working at a cheese and guitar shop. Michael McKean's, again, all names are escaping me right now. David St. Hubbins is still doing music. Harry Shearer's character works in a glue shop. It's all creating things for little bits, but they're coming back to do a reunion concert.
Right.
And so it's all about them trying to come back together.
And they haven't spoken to each other, or at least Nigel's character, Christopher Guest's character, hasn't spoken to the other two bandmates since they broke up, basically.
Because of and they don't really go into specifics until later when you realize, like, David accuses Nigel of having an affair with his wife, and it's all that, and then it's...
Let's talk about that, actually, really quickly.
Let's talk about that.
Because that is a little bit of forced drama. All drama is manufactured to a certain extent, but it really feels like they're trying to drag up the same conflict from the first one, i.e. Christopher Guest and Michael McKean's characters butting heads or not gelling the way they should. And
I'm sure it was the point, but in the first one, it's Nigel hates his girlfriend.
Yeah.
So it's just like, why? I get it, though, because they're all stupid, so it's, you know...
and the way that it sort of strings the conflict along in this one, you can tell they don't care because from scene to scene, they'll be getting on just fine.
Yeah.
And then, like, they'll go back to a scene, they have to remind us that they're in some sort of conflict with each other.
He's, like, FaceTiming, and he's like, ugh.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, okay, I guess you guys don't like each other right now.
Yeah, and part of that is because, you know, whatever they have to do for the bit, sometimes if the bit's funny or if they're on the same page, then they'll do that. I get it. But it does just show how lazy and sort of like slapped on that whole central conflict, what is supposed to be the emotional core of the movie is. I almost wish, I think the movie would have been better if you just didn't have that at all.
Yeah. If they had it would have been funnier if they were like, yeah, we haven't spoken in 15 years, and then they immediately made up and were like, yeah, we're still buds, bandmates, let's make music.
Right. That would have been unexpected. Or they've forgotten why they were upset with one another, something like that.
Yeah.
Really, really lazy, really bad.
And similar to what you're saying, the Happy Gilmore 2 thing, they bank a lot on celeb cameos in this. They bank a lot on the sensationalize of, oh, Paul McCartney's here, Elton John's here, Questlove is here. And yeah, it's cool to see them. They're amazing. They're icons. They're legends. Okay.
And it goes further because they have a few other lazy cameos. The drummer from Metallica, the drummer from Red Hot Chili Peppers. Over FaceTime. Yep. Because they couldn't get him in person for whatever reason. Yeah, it's the worst version of that you can imagine being done. And yeah, it's annoying.
There are some funny bits in here. And I liked the new characters. I like Kerry Godliman's character. I like, we just looked up his name.
Yes, Chris Addison.
Chris Addison, who plays the really cruddy manager who's like a kind of a psychopath.
Yeah.
And can't hear music. That's
he's
funny.
the funniest. I think he's the funniest person in the movie.
Agreed. Agreed, unfortunately.
Because he's a new character with something new to do, I think, or like some sort of new conflict to bring to the table that makes things a little interesting and comedy to sprout forth from that.
And I liked the drummer. I thought that was a funny little side thing because they have this whole bit about how their drummers all die and then they bring in this beautiful, gorgeous lesbian drummer who's amazing and doesn't really fit with their vibe at all. I guess she kind of does, but I kind of liked that. I thought that was funny.
Yeah, that joke falls really flat when they find out she's a lesbian, and they're old dudes or something. They're supposed to be surprised by that, but they're also rock stars.
and also, I feel like it's out of character for Harry Shearer to just blatantly be like, "Hey, you want to get together and like do stuff?" Like, I feel like his character wasn't that creepy in the first one.
No, he was not a womanizer.
Blatantly
in the first one.
Proposition that to the drummer that they've just hired seems a little. I don't know, like they were reaching. And I was just like, Rob, no, because I love Rob Reiner is one of my favorite directors of all time. And I'm a ride or die for his filmography. But it's like, why couldn't you guys have done something new?
Yeah, exactly.
Why did we have to go back and touch on something that was pretty just perfect to begin with?
You would think that if you're going to do a sequel to something that's 41 years old, you would imagine that you're feeling, there must be something really compelling you to want to tell that story or certain jokes that you're like, I can just see these characters interacting in today's world and being, there has to be some reason that you justify why doing something like this. And this is just so obviously not motivated by anything like that. It's just, the only explanation I can think of why you would make this movie is like these guys are looking for some retirement money, and you hate to put that on a movie as like, oh, it's like cynically just a cash grab or something. But that's how this feels. That's how Happy Gilmore 2 feels. When something is as classic and as much time as this has lapsed from there, I think that's what you have to do. Something else that I wanted to mention was how this film something that worked really great with the original is that it was specifically aping a certain kind of musical documentary that was being done in like the 70s, like The Last Waltz from Martin Scorsese about the band, or like The Song Remains the Same from Led Zeppelin and things. There was like a very specific kind of rock band music documentary that the original Spinal Tap is aping from, and that's where it gets so much of its good humor from, is because it feels kind of realistic in how strictly they're following that formula, whereas this film feels like it drops the documentary angle altogether at times and just feels like it's a comedy sketch playing out. Like, it doesn't feel very documentary-ish. Like Popstar Never Stop Stopping is a great example of
a beautiful film,
a better version of like a modern mockumentary musical thing.
Agreed.
That maintains that the whole way through and fight. Like, I'm sure there must be documentaries about bands doing their final concert and things that this could be mining for comedy, but I don't think it does. I think they didn't look at anything like that. They just, again, because they were a bit lazy, is my guess. Tinfoil hat moment, but that's how it feels when you're watching it, is just not too much thought was put into this, and a lot of the jokes are just whatever is easy and obvious, and that's about it.
Also, I just want to put in my 2 cents back. The OG Spinal Tap, they always act like it was revolutionary. They did a mockumentary thing. Albert Brooks did it first with Real Life. I just want to put that out there.
And I also don't think it's the first like rock band mockumentary.
No, I don't think so either.
Because there's one on there was like a Beatles the Ruttles or whatever. It was like a band that was aping the Beatles called the Ruttles. I think they had a movie come out before this was Spinal Tap. So,
and again,
no one remembers the Ruttles. Yeah. Everyone remembers this is Spinal Tap for a reason, because it is so much better.
Yeah, and this isn't to diss Spinal Tap at all. I love Spinal Tap. But yeah. And I just want to say, if they're watching this, because they definitely are, I still love you guys. I still love Christopher Guest and Michael McKean and Harry Shearer and Rob Reiner. You guys are good. Just don't do this anymore.
Yeah.
Don't do this. Do something else.
It was funny. Even at the end of the movie, it feels like it's rushing to get you out of the theaters, because it's playing the credits over some of the best jokes of the movie. as the epilogue plays out, some of the best jokes are in there, but it's all obscured by like credits rolling right in front of the screen. You can feel the producers or the director or editors, Rob Reiner, telling you, like, let's just wrap this up and get people out of here. Like
I'm sorry,
we've
guys.
overstayed our welcome as it is. Yeah, I think that the people who made it, at least those behind the scenes, I think they probably knew what they had on their hands here in terms of a bit of a dud as a follow-up to a classic.
Just 2 other things that are not related and kind of don't matter. I'm just happy they brought Paul Schaefer back, because I always love to see Paul Schaefer. And then a joke that really surprised me that I really liked, and I don't know why I found it so funny, but the hell to pay. Like hell to pay, but then it was hell to pay, and it was just the devil with a bunch of toupees.
Yeah, right.
I thought that was very funny.
Right. That was when Harry Shearer's he had recruited 2 symphony orchestras to perform his music.
And it was hell to pay, but it was hell to pay.
That was good. That was a good gag.
Why can't I think of Harry Shearer's character's name? Nigel Tufnell.
Something Smalls. Derek Smalls.
Derek Smalls. Strong work, thank you.
There we go. All right, that's it. Spinal Tap 2. Probably don't have to see it. Go watch the original instead.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, this does nothing but hurt its legacy, if anything. So, all right, that's it. 2 movies. One to recommend and one to skip, I guess. But as always, we appreciate you for tuning in to 8 News Real Talk, and we'll see you all next week.